Today we're at Motorcycle World in Northampton to test ride the FTR1200. On this little thing, let's start. Look at the dash, nice little round. I like this round TFT Niv. It's quite nifty. How do you start it then? Ooh, very nice. We're in neutral. Let's just get me bearings a minute. So we've got a key. It's not keyless start, this particular model. You haven't got the big TFT, you've got the little round one there. Little round TFT there, look at that, Glenn. It looks an old school sort of vibe to it. I've got no idea what any of these buttons do. See, I like the dark sort of look about them. The Norton's got like a clear like yogurt pot on there, which looks a bit shanty. Yeah. See you in a bit. Right, indicators there, indicators there. Not sure what that lefty button is. It's something to do with the screen, maybe. No idea what that means. No idea what these buttons do either. Oh, something changed then, didn't it? What happened there? Ah, look, miles per hour. Connect to your... Ah, okay. How do I change that back then? Oh, God knows. Set, reserve. I've got no idea what all these buttons do. Wow. I suppose as I'm sitting on it, I might as well give it a go. Oh, bitey clutch, bitey clutch. Oh, it's a nice little thing. It feels tiny. Going to the edge of the... Ooh, that felt a bit strange. Can I see out the mirrors? Well, let's try and I've messed this dash up now. Look, connect your device to the... no way. It's quite a small dimension bike, this thing, by the looks of it. I don't like the screen now, I messed it up. Look. What have I done here? Right, there's no quick shifter. Woo! Well, it's quite a smooth thing. Oh, it sounds quite nice, to be honest with you. A little bit gravel on there. Alright, mate. Oh, it's a very responsive engine. I did like that bit. Okay, so first impressions of the FTR Indian 1200. A very punchy engine. Not that I've really tested out how punchy it is. Suspension's quite hard. It's not a bad riding position. You're nicely set up right. Knees are not too bent. Feet slightly backward position. Feels nice and stable, this bike. Its suspension, as I say, is... Oh, it didn't seem quite hard when you like bounce on it. See the traffic lights are more 16 stone, but when you're going along, it seems you can feel every sort of bump on it. So it's quite a sporty sort of setup. Engine seems very punchy. I mean, it's a twin, so you're going to get a lot of low down torque anyway. And that is very noticeable. It's got standard pipes on this S version, and from what I can gather, it's Sounds pretty good for standard ones. Throttle slightly snatchy at really low revs in first gear. I've got a gear indicator on here, yeah, there's a tiny gear indicator there saying I'm in third gear. If I could change this dash back to where it was, I might be able to see what's what. Right, second gear around the corner. Oh, it's unusual feeling of handling going around that corner. It's going to take a little bit getting used to this. Feels a little bit what? A little bit vague on the front end, maybe. I don't know when the last time they checked the tyre pressures on this, but it feels like it's got a slightly low pressure on the front. Whether it has or not, or whether that's the characteristics of the front end of this bike, I don't know. I mean, I do look a little big for this bike, I think. But when I'm riding it, it doesn't feel overly small. It feels fine. Brakes feel very good. Again, I'm not testing them on the sort of the raggedy edge of performance. I'm just riding a road bike on the road, and the brakes seem really bitey. Right, how do I alter this stupid dash again then? What's this? Ah, the back button. There's a back button there that goes back. Funny enough, who would have thought it, eh? So now I'm back into this. I think I prefer this look and setup of the dash. It's a lot nicer. I'm used to revving my boxer like that, and the whole thing slightly shaky from left to right. But this is this a V twin? This one? I don't know. It's a twin. This twin, possibly a V, obviously doesn't shake from side to side like the boxer engine will. So I'm riding along at 30 mile an hour in reasonable traffic conditions, and its manners are very good, apart from, like I say, the on-off. The on-off of the throttle, as I keep mentioning, is the only slight niggle that I could really put my finger on so far. But I do like the instant pickup on this thing. I don't think it's going to be, you know, ripping your arms out of socket any time soon, but you know, it's an Indian. It's not supposed to be a ballistic missile. You stay there. Thank you very much, Mr. BMW. It's funny, without a quick shifter, I've not rode a bike with a quick shifter much, apart from my RD, obviously. Obvious to me, unless you see my RD video, then it'd be obvious to you too. BMW, Wollaston BMW, for all your BMW needs, motorbikes and cars. I imagine if you get a decent pipe on this thing, it'll make it sound really nice. It's quite comfy. Seat's not overly padded, but it's pretty comfy. It's not wristy at all through them trafficy bits. I do suffer with old man's wrist aching, numb hands and so forth. That 10 minutes through the traffic didn't seem wristy at all. It is steering in a little, the front don't feel quite right. I'm putting the front, it's almost like it wants to tuck a little bit when you go around the corner, which normally, if you're meant to do with the setup of the bike, it's going to be low pressure in the tyre. This is the first Indian I've ever rode, so I've got nothing to compare it with Indian wise. Woo, lovely. So nice. I tend to like all bikes that I ride. There's not many bikes new bikes that you get on and think, oh yeah, that's crap. They are what they are. They're all different. They're all slightly different, but nobody really makes a bad bike nowadays. They just make different flavours, and depending on what flavour you're looking for, your flavour of choice, you know, it's kind of more or less dictates whether you think it's good or bad. rather than if the bike is good or bad. If I was to buy one of these, some of my mates might say, oh, that's bloody horrible, what the freaking hell did you buy that thing for? Have I got another gear? Yeah, that's it, six gears. You know, they might turn around and say, what the hell have you bought that piece of crap for? And other people think what a lovely bike it is. So if I ride along at 60 mile an hour in top, in 6 gears, 56, blah, 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 that's good enough. And then just go whack on the throttle. Alright, it picked, I won't get too mad, because obviously speed limits and all. But yeah, it picks up really nice. Again, going back to the engine being a twin, I've got no idea on stats. I've not researched the stats. I mean, anybody that has got a slight interest in these, who's watched YouTube videos and they've looked at the different Facebook pages, etc, etc, you're going to know all the stats off by out anyway. But I will put the basics on the screen if I can be bothered to find them and edit it onto the video, etc. Well, I've been on it about 20 minutes now, probably, and yeah, starting to get a little bit used to it. What else have I found on it? Yeah, the tank feels really nice. It's a nice width between your legs, not too big, not too small, just about right really. There's no sort of like cuttings on for your knees, but you don't really need them as such. What else? The buttons seem, they're quite faffy, these buttons. So if you're looking for like the indicators, there's a little tiny bit there, which is slightly awkward with gloves on to find. Hold on. But I guess after 20 minutes of slightly awkwardness, if this was my bike, you get used to it really quick. I'm not sure if I've got a fuel gauge on this, or whether because I cannot see one without staring at it too much. You got a clock on there. I mean, you got pretty much what you want. You've got the speed in the middle, your rev count around the outside on this setting, what gear you're in, you've got the time. I always like the time, it's pretty handy, especially if you're like going out on one of those. Well, I'm just going to go out for an hour and a half ride, and then you're thinking, oh god, I'm limited on time, what is the time? And then you don't know, so it's quite handy to have a clock. 3:15 in the afternoon on the whatever, August 2023. So after the first 20 minutes, I can conclude the things I do not like about this bike are the jerkiness of the throttle. It's a little bit on-offy, as I say, especially at low down speeds. I mean, even in fifth, you sort of go to slow down and it will just shut off and then jerk to come back on again. Obviously not as bad in fifth as what it is in like first and second, but nevertheless it is still there. When you like tap the throttle, you've got an instant surge in pretty much any gear of power. That's nice. There's no lag on it, there's no like, you know, come on, it's sort of instant response between the throttle and the sort of engine and the go. The forward thrust of the machine is very good. As I said, it's not massively fast, but for the sort of bike it is, I haven't sort of like gone along and thought, oh, it's a bit crappy slow, this thing. For this style of bike, it is plenty fast enough in standard trim. I dare say you could, you know, eke out a little bit more BHP, a little bit more power if you put a different pipe on it. You know, obviously ditch the cat and give it a little remap, and that might get rid of the jerky throttle as well, as I've already outlined. The mirrors are pretty good. The stalks are quite small, yet I can see pretty much what's behind me. I can see like a little bit of elbow, but you move your head like that and I can see pretty much okay. There's no vibrations through the mirrors that I've noticed. Right, when I'm doing that, I'm kind of leaning forward, I'm not looking at the mirrors, but no, I can report there's no vibration in the mirrors, so that's all good. You get a little bit of vibration through the, I'm just looking for the vibration now in a feely sense. You get a little bit of vibration through the foot pegs, the handlebars and your backside on the seat as well. So there is engine vibration through all three in equal proportions. but not enough to give you like white finger syndrome or anything drastic like that. It's just enough to let you know you're on a good old twin motorcycle, which I think is a good thing. I wouldn't want no vibration on a thing like this. Let's go left here, so I'm having to look where them indicators are again, aren't I? I do want a bit of vibration. It's an Indian. I want to, you know, I want to look like a hairy biker. You want noise, you want the looks, you know, a bit of everything. Yeah, nobody coming. What's a turning circle like on there? The turning circle's a lot better than my riding abilities. The turning circle fine. Oh, there. Oh, that does go right, you know. I keep saying that, but when it's not your bike and you don't know what it's going to do, you're always a bit hesitant with limiting riding capabilities of opening the throttle full, especially in like first, second gear, because you think, what is this thing going to do? So it's a case of slowly with me to catch foresaid monkey, and that was probably the quickest I've dared with my tiny testicles accelerate. And again, I'm looking for the indicators, and again I can report by that little experiment on acceleration that it does accelerate quite furiously. Alright, let's where am I going? Oh, this is all bloody yeah. I keep on these. Mind, it is a flat track, isn't it? Oh dear. We seem to have got a dusting of stone chips all over these bloody roads. I could have parked there next to that rubbish, couldn't I? Beautiful. There's a tip literally 3 miles down the road and somebody's left crap in that gateway again. I mean, what beautifulness, isn't there? Oh, no, there's a bit round this corner, because I remember I filmed round here on the RD a little while ago. So, I'm going to get the Insta camera out and I'm going to put it by the side of the road and I'm going to do a couple of ride-bys. So hopefully when I come to edit this video, oh, that was a rubbish downshift. A lot of stones on this corner. When I come to edit this video, it will be epic with me going around the corner and amongst all these stone chips. Rear brake's good. The rear brake's good for a rear brake. I don't know whether this bike's got traction control or what it's got on it. It'll have ABS on because all new bikes have ABS on. As for TC, I don't know. Apparently it's 25 degrees. Oh, my left arse cheek's starting to get a bit numb. Mind you, it does that on a GS, and the GS is probably the most comfiest bike. Well, not the most comfiest bike, one of the most comfiest bikes you can ride for periods of time. But I still got a numb bum on it. I still got a numb bum if I sit on my sofa. But so when you think, oh god, I'll get a numb ass on whatever bike, I thought this was supposed to be comfortable. Yeah, it is comfortable. It's comfortable for a motorbike. The same as your sofa is more comfortable because it's a sofa. Beautiful, thank you. Not that you're looking, but I'll say thank you anyway because that's the way I was brought up. So I think this more or less concludes my ride on the FTR1200 S, is the S model. I take it the S model's the more sort of like basic one. I know the carbon one, you tend to get a bit more blingy stuff on it. I think it's got Olins on it, and obviously FTR carbon, it's got quite a lot of carbon fibre on it. It's got a different TFT screen. I quite like this TFT screen for the limited amount of information it's got on it. Say a limited amount. What I've said on various videos before, how much information do you want? I kind of want to know the basics. And that's what it tells me, the basics. So what do I think of this thing after literally being on it for like half an hour, 40 minutes? It's really nice. I love the way it looks. I'm not really into American sort of like Harleys and these Indians. It's not really been my thing over the years, but this one looks a little bit different. I'm still not really keen on, you know, the big cruiser type looking things. When they look too American, they just don't look right over here. For me personally, but like I say, individual flavours for individual tastes. I get all of that. But this particular one, it's got a nice look to it. I like the frame. I like just the way it looks. But looks are only a part of it. Looks get you into a bike to start with. That's the first thing that catches your eye, is the way they look. And then you get on it, like I've done now, and then sometimes it's like it can ruin it a little bit, because it's like, oh, it looks really nice, but I don't really like how it rides. Whereas this one rides lovely. As I've said, in conclusion, it's got plenty of punch for this lovely little 1200cc twin engine. You wouldn't really want it any quicker than this, to be honest, as a road bike, unless you're some sort of hooligan. I'm starting to get a little hang of the indicators, even though I have to look down just to make sure they're on and off. At 70 mile an hour, you've got a reasonable amount of wind buffering, as you would expect on a naked bike without any fairing. There is kind of a little screen, if you can see that, at the front. Whether that's doing anything as wind protection or not, so debatable. So yeah, there isn't really any wind protection. So I think the negatives I can pick up on so far of this short initial test ride is the jerky throttle. Again, it's no big deal. I've kind of got used to it a little bit in this short test ride. So if it was going to be a real big deal, like I've already outlined, you could probably map that out on. I'll definitely want to put a different pipe on it to release a bit more noise, not necessarily any more brake horsepower, but a little bit more noise. So yeah, the jerky throttle is a slight negative. The switch gear's a little bit cheap and nasty as well, and it takes a bit of getting used to. Apart from that, they're the only two negatives I could sort of outline so far on riding this bike for the first time. And really I'm having to dig deep to find negatives. You can't just get on the bike and say, oh yeah, it's great, isn't it? Well, you can, but there's always some little thing, and these are only little minor things. Yeah, thanks for lending me the bike. Motorcycle World in Northampton. It's on Grafton Street Industrial Estate in Northampton. I'll put a link in the description for the shop. I don't think they've got a YouTube channel, so I'll put a link to their Facebook page. They do various brands. There's a few Chinese looking things in there. They've got Norton in there as well, which is quite exciting. I was planning on taking the Norton Commando out today, but unfortunately the demo bike's gone back to Norton, so they haven't got a demo bike at the moment, which is a shame. This was my second choice to take out, so yeah, I'm not overly disappointed because I wanted to take both of them out. So yeah, big up to Motorcycle World Northampton, and I think I'll leave it at that. This is the end of the video, so if you've enjoyed it, please consider subscribing. That would be wonderful. Everyone else, and as you all know by now, it's free to subscribe, so if you don't mind helping out an old man with his tiny YouTube channel get slightly less tiny, that would be wonderful, and I'll be eternally grateful. So on that note, thanks for watching if you got to the end. This has been Andy, aka the Flying Yeti, signing off. One little thing before I go. Oh, traffic light's changed now. Bugger, where's the indicators again? Just there. On the right hand side, just there's a little flicky button. Let me get around this junction. Oh, there's a Coke bottle there. It's a lovely place to drop that. Beautiful, well done. There's a little button on the right hand side which I just found after I stopped, and you flick that and the dash changes to that screen. Now the fuel gauge is there, Tells you how many miles you got in the tank, which apparently I've got 16, so it's a good job I'm going back. Got the temperature, your battery voltage, etc. You flick it again, gives you a little bit more information, your ride time, how many miles the bike's done, blah de blah, all that gubbins. And then you flick it again, and look at that, you've got a little sat nav on there. Now I'm assuming you will have to sync your phone to the bike via their app, I would imagine, like everybody else's bikes. And once you've done that, you've got the little sat nav there, which is built into the bike, which is pretty damn awesome, really. It's only like a turn by turn one, so it won't be too much information going on there, but it's definitely going to get you where you want to go. How many times do you go out and you think, oh, I've got no bloody quad lock on my bike, or I don't know where I'm going and I can't be asked to look at my phone or whatever? So that'd be really handy. So press it again, it goes back to that one as well. So yeah, happy days. Right, I'm definitely going now. See you later, bye.